came out, he would not breathe. He would not take his first breath. Hey everyone, welcome back to my place. Today is Storytime Wednesday, and I am so excited to share with you the story of my son's birth. So his birth story. He was my first baby, and I'm just so excited to share. So I'm just gonna get right for before I get into it, I'm gonna put in a disclaimer real quick. I just want to let you know, just because I had a home birth, that does not mean that I am against hospital births, medicated births, C-sections. I'm not against any of that. Go have birth wherever the heck you want. Just make sure it's a safe environment, obviously. Alright, so I'm just gonna get into it. I got pregnant in the fall time of 2013. Well, today is October 3rd of 2013. It's Thursday, and I just found out that I am pregnant. According to this, I am 2 to 3 weeks along. I'm so excited, and this is just the beginning of a new journey. And I remember I had a few other friends that were pregnant with me, and we were like, everyone just had this like home birth thing going on. Everyone wanted to do home birth. It was like this vibe going around or something, I don't know. But at first I was just a little hesitant about it. I was the type of person, before getting married, I said, when I have kids, I'm going to the hospital, I'm getting drugged up, I'm not dealing with any pain of if I can avoid it. That was my mindset, and that's what I wanted to do before I even got married, when it came to having kids. So when I got pregnant, everyone was like doing home births and all of that, and me and my husband researches a lot of stuff. He likes to really look into things and really come to an understanding of different things, and especially when it comes to like opposites. And so he really looked into hospital birthing and all the ins and outs of that, and then also home births, and we also talked to other people who have experienced both. And I don't know, we just came to the decision to do a home birth. We thought it would be really cool and a fun experience, and we felt that it was a safe thing to do. So I found a midwife, and I am so glad I found this midwife. She's the most amazing person. Her whole team is amazing, and I'm just so grateful for them. But anyways, I find a midwife, I make my appointment, very first appointment with my baby. My very first appointment was when I was like 15 weeks. Never seen a doctor before that or anything. Yeah. So I go in, we do our consultation meeting, and then she let me listen to the baby's heartbeat, and that was just amazing. But anyways, I'm not going to talk about my pregnancy. I'm going to jump forward to when I gave birth to Isaiah. I remember my due date was June 6th of 2014, and I remember being out and about, and I started getting contractions actually that night, but they were false contractions. It wasn't anything serious, and obviously I didn't know like what contractions were, how they felt, and like the progression of things. I didn't really understand it fully, so I did call my midwife, but she kind of just said, once they start getting painful or you can't even like talk through them, then you can call me. And it's like, oh, okay. I go to sleep, didn't they stopped. So June 6th was on a Friday, so the weekend, we go through the weekend and nothing happens, and then a Monday comes. That was June 9th, Monday. I remember I went with my mom to like the mall, I think, or Sam's Club or something, and then she got me like this essential oil that's supposed to keep contractions going once they start. And so I put that on me, and I was getting contractions all day on the 9th of June, and then they started to pick up a little bit June 9th at the end of the day, so like at night. They started picking up a little bit, and I ended up calling, I think I called my midwife probably around 11 maybe. I just kind of told her what was going on, and so she came over about 12:30 that night to just check to see what's going on, see if I was really in labor. And I was dilated to a 4, and she's like, okay, so you're in the early stages of labor. She's like, I want you to try to rest. You can maybe just go shower, relax. And she's like, I'm going to go to another birth, because she had another birth to go to. And she said that her assistant would be there shortly. And eventually the second midwife came, and that's when labor started really picking up. Probably shortly after she got there, I started getting contractions a little bit stronger. And it was probably around, I want to say 4 in the morning is when active labor actually really started. It's really hard for me to remember because this was so long ago and I didn't write down any notes. But I do remember I labored in bed, I labored in a pool, I labored in my bathroom. I did all types of laboring. My entire labor was approximately 22 hours. So it was a lot of laboring. But I remember being in the pool. I was in the pool, and I remember just thinking, is this over yet? Like, can I push him out yet? Like, I was exhausted. It was so long. It felt like it was forever. And it was like, oh, you're dilated to a 6. And it was like, that was several hours. Like, I was at a 4 when I first got checked, and then several hours later, I'm only at a 6. Oh, geez. I was like, okay, great. But anyways, I had them break my water, and finally it came to the time for me to push. I don't know exactly what time it was. I kind of obviously wasn't paying attention to time and everything at this point. And I started to push. The baby wasn't moving. So they put me in different positions. I did all types of stuff, and he was just taking his sweet time coming down through the canal. Gosh, I remember he was like crowning for the longest time, and he would just not budge. And then finally, after I want to say over an hour of pushing, he finally was born. And the scary part about this is that when he came out, he would not breathe. He would not take his first breath. And so what they did was, and obviously this time span was really short, but for me it felt like it was such a long experience, but it was a really short time frame from when he was born to when they got him breathing. So they took him, they noticed he wouldn't take a breath, they noticed like he wasn't like trying to breathe or whatever. So they put I was on the floor. I gave birth to him on the floor, and I was on the floor. They put a flat board on me, and then they laid him on it, and they used the little lung sucker thing, I don't know, it's to try to get the lungs pumping to go, and that wasn't working. And so my midwife, bless her heart, I cannot believe she has she's so amazing, but she went and she did mouth to mouth with my little baby. Obviously, little baby, you don't do major breathing into the mouth to mouth thing, but like that saved his life. He started breathing, and I heard him cry, and oh my gosh, I was so exhausted and so out of it that it kind of was just like, I don't know what's going on. I really didn't know what was going on, honestly, for most of it. I knew that he wasn't breathing, but I didn't really understand like everything that was going on because I was so done. Like I said, it was a 22-hour labor, and it was so hard. But anyways, after they got him breathing, I also in the process was having a hemorrhage, so they were dealing with me. So thank the Lord I had 4 midwives there with me. It was unplanned. It kind of just, my midwife kind of knew, okay, what it was probably going to lead to. She could tell by how my labor was going and how my body was functioning. Midwives are awesome. They know that stuff. But so, I had 4 midwives there, 4 of them. And thank God I did, because 2 of them were attending me, making sure I was getting enough oxygen, making sure that my bleeding would stop, and then the other 2 were attending the baby, and from what I remember, I think that's how it was going. And so I needed all 4 of them, and it was just so crazy. Finally, I got settled, my bleeding settled down and everything, and Isaiah was fine, and he was happy. We started to just do skin to skin and started to nurse, and he did so well, and we just it was such a crazy experience. Home birthing is, yes, it can be scary, and it can be like the weirdest thing to most people here in America, especially. But it's like it was a great experience when it came to just being able to be in my house and just in my own bed. And I remember through labor, I was thinking, I am so glad I'm at home. I'm so glad I'm not at the hospital, because it was such a long labor, and I don't know if I would have been pushed to do a C-section. In that time, I was terrified of C-sections. I was like, I don't ever want to have to go through a surgery to get my baby out of me. Like, that scares me. Getting an injection right in my spine or whatever, that scares the heck out of me, more than just giving birth naturally. Like, I don't know why, but it does. But yeah, so it was so great to be in my own home, be in the comfort of my own house, and just to be with my family. And it was a calming place, you know. I didn't have to be in one position the whole time, and not that you have to in hospitals, but it was just wonderful. Yes, it was long and it was scary when he came out and he wouldn't breathe, but it was amazing that the midwives had everything that they needed. They had oxygen tanks, they had IV bags and stuff for my bleeding to stop. They had everything that they could possibly need to take care of me, to take care of my baby, and they're amazing. I laid there in my bed taking care of my baby while they cleaned up everything. They did my laundry, they cleaned up the kitchen, they just did everything that they could to make this experience an amazing experience, and that I'm so grateful for that. So anyways, that's how he was born. Like, he was born at home. It was a long labor. There was a lot of pain. I didn't have any medication. In fact, I didn't even think about medication the entire time. Like, that never came to my mind. Pain medication not once came to my mind while I was in labor, which is kind of weird. You would think I was like, give me pain medicine, but no, I didn't. And my midwives were encouraging every time I came to the point of just saying, I can't do anymore. My midwife was like, don't you dare say the word can't. Like, you cannot say that. She's like, you can do it. And they encouraged me. And they're just wonderful people, and I'm so thankful I found them. But yeah, so if you are in the Treasure Coast area of Florida, you can look up Abundant Life Birth Center, or Abundant Life Birth Care, and you'll find them. They're amazing. They're in Stuart, Florida, but they are absolutely amazing. And they do births at birth centers too now. So ever since I think 2015 is when they started opening their birth center. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of my story. I'm so glad I got to share with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you guys have any questions when it comes to home birth, please leave them in the comments. I will be so willing to answer them. And also, if you missed my last video, go check it out. It's how I met my husband, and you guys can kind of get a little insight on our relationship and how we got together and got married and all of that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I will be putting out videos every Wednesday, and I want to also start to put out videos on Fridays, but leave your suggestions in the comments so I can get some video ideas. I don't want them to be another storytime video on Fridays. I want them to be more fun activity type of videos. I'm thinking about doing a few different things with my kids, so keep an eye out for videos like that on Fridays. I'm not sure when that's going to start though. But yeah, thanks for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Bye!